just wanted to make this video. I know these two shoes actually just recently retro. I know this one being the Space Jam. These are not the Space Jams from this year, 2016. These are the ones from 2009, actually. And then these are the 2010s. These are not the ones also from this year. These are the previous release from 2010. I'm trying to get the countdown packs from 2008, which is also a nice release as well. Even though the quality wasn't the best on those, the qualities are actually better on these ones than the actual 2008 pair. But I wanted to get into these two shoes, especially the Space Jams and the Chicago Nines. Everybody liked to call them the Space Jams because it was on the Space Jam movie. Even though that's not the original name, you can't just call every shoe the Space Jam because just to educate y'all on the movie Space Jam. Most people don't even know it's other original Jordans that was worn in the movie. If you know who Stan is he wore the not the original twos, but most people don't even know about the first retro, the 1994. He wore the 1994 pair of retro to Chicago's that came out in 1994, not the 1986 pair, but the 1994 retro, which is the first retro. If people don't know about the first retros, do your research, because there were shoes that retro when he retired, because they assumed that Jordan was not going to be playing basketball anymore because he went to play baseball. He wore an original pair of Air Jordan 9 cleats on the movie as well when he was playing baseball, to gotta give people an education on that, because all these young kids don't know anything about that, even though they just recognize this from the movie Space Jam, but no, don't really have the knowledge to back up. So I always like to educate people on the knowledge so people can know what to look for as well. And another original Air Jordan. I don't know, my camera just turned off on its own. Another original Air Jordan that was also on the movie Space Jam is also the Shadow 10s. The Shadow 10s was on the movie as well. If you want to call those the Space Jams too, it just doesn't make sense. That's why I say these wouldn't be labeled as the Space Jam. They're the Chicago Nines. Being they're not called the Playoff Nines either, because he never wore these in the game. Never wore original pair of Air Jordan 9s in the game. I think he did the powder blue 9s, if I'm not mistaken. He wore in the All-Star game, if I'm not mistaken. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I just know he did not wear any of the Air Jordan 9s during the Chicago games. That's why I say these would not be labeled as the playoffs, because he never wore these. How would you say these are called the playoffs when he never wore these in the playoffs? It doesn't make any freaking sense. So that's why these are labeled originally as the Chicago Nines. People call these Space Jams just because they're a movie Space Jam, when it's not the original name. The original name is the Chicago 9, being it had the Chicago colorway. That's the only meaning of why the only logical explanation why these should be labeled the Chicago 9s. So you can't just call these the Space Jam 9s just because they was on the movie Space Jam. That makes no sense. These new sneakerheads now, they don't be knowing what the fuck they be saying. And it's the reason why everything has a certain nickname. It has a certain meaning behind the nickname. I know you can call it whatever you want, but it won't mean anything because it doesn't, what you're naming it makes no fucking sense. Excuse my language, but still, like, it's a meaning to all these names. Like Space Jam, this was originally the original shoe he wore on the movie Space Jam. And just to educate people on how the Space Jams looked as well, how they actually looked. Most people think the new ones that came out looks like the original Space Jams, when no, they don't. They don't look like the original Space Jams at all. Meaning being, if I show you a picture of these, you see how the original Space Jams look, even though, see how the patent leather is sitting low, and I want you to look at these closely. These are the original Space Jams with the 23 that he wore in the movie, not the 45 on the back like he wore in the game. I know they're trying to do the whole 45 thing, which is cool, but it had the 23 on it. He had two pairs. He had one he wore in the game, but the actual Space Jams. These are the ones I remember, which are like these ones. That's why I say these are more closer looking. Other than the 2000 pair, no, the 2000 pair is the 100% closest to the original because the Jumpman was not facing that way. And the patent leather is also sitting low, like on the Space Jam movie. The new ones, the patent leather is sitting way higher. See how low the patent leather is? I don't know if you can see that picture because I don't think the camera is going to let that go. Focuses. See how that is? How the patent leather is sitting low. The new ones are nothing like the original. That's why I say people do not know what they're talking about. You see how these look from the side. I can even show you from the side view so you can actually look at these. Even though these don't, I wouldn't say look close to original because it has the wrong sided Jumpman. But if you look at that and look at this picture, I want y'all to see something here. See what I'm saying. Like, no, yo. Like, these new Jordans, that's what I'm saying. When people say they know Jordans, they don't. Like, they try to say it, they're making it like, they're not making it like the original. Because the original, I'll say the original shape would favor more on the 2009 pair. Just the fact that it has a backwards Jumpman, I say it wouldn't because it has a backwards Jumpman. But the ones that favor it are the 2000 ones. The 2000 ones are the closest to me to the actual original Space Jam from the movie. I'm not talking about the ones with the 45 on the back. I can care less about the ones with the 45 on the back. Even though it looks nice, it was his P exclusive shoe. But in the movie itself, okay, when it played in the movie Space Jam, these are the original shape of the Space Jams I remember. From my knowledge, they look like this. Alright? They look like this. They did not look like how the new ones look. So when people just say stuff, just get the education first, man. Like, don't just run your mouth and think you know what you're talking about when you don't. That's what I'm saying. These new sneakerheads, they don't be knowing what they be saying sometimes. And with these, just because these was on the movie Space Jam, you can't just label these as Space Jams just because they was on the movie. You can call them whatever you want, but there's no meaning behind why. All because it's on the movie. It was a couple other Jordans on the movie that was originals. You can't call the Chicago 2s, which they're Chicago colorways, the Space Jam 2s, alright? Just because they're on the movie. Or the fucking Shadow 10s, which is also original Jordan. If people don't know about that, when Bugs Bunny went to get his basketball gear with the 9s in the house, the Shadow 10s was on there in the house when on top of the trophy thing. The Shadow 10s was also on there. So you can't call those the Space Jam 10s. You see what I'm saying? See where I'm going with this? So that's the whole point of the 9s when he went to get the 9s gear when Bugs Bunny and Donald Duck went to get the 9s and the dog tried to attack him and all that shit. So the son and the daughter came in there and rescued him. Like, people probably don't even know the details from the movie. I used to watch that movie all the time. One of my favorite movies when I was younger. So that's why I know. Like, these are the Chicago 9s. These are the Chicago 9s. Meaning by the name because it labeled it as the original colorways. They're not the playoff 9s. They're not none of that stuff. These are the Chicago 9s. Just because it had the Bulls colorways, he never wore them in the game, but it had the Chicago colorways. That's the whole point of it, of the name, of getting the name of Chicago. Just like these got the name of Space Jam because he actually wore these in the movie. Alright? He wore these in the game, in the movie, and also he wore these on the court. Alright? So that's why these are labeled the meaning name Space Jam. The whole point of giving it this name because of Space Jam. And then, of course, the colors, the blue colors. I know this. Let's just say I'm gonna cut this video short because I don't want to make this video too long. Just wanted to make a quick video for you guys. You have a wonderful